Hi guys, this is Samuel from ATG Ventures, and today I'll be walking through uh, a topic which is Unix 5 permission and access mode. To get started with this, uh, you have to have downloaded Ubuntu to your so you can always get an Ubuntu on Google. Then after doing that, you should have installed it, and also this Ubuntu will not be able to change the file permission and access mode of your file. There are certain settings you need to run in order to enable the Windows subsystem for Linux. So what we are going to do at first, I'll just walk you through how I did mine. You go to the home directory of your Ubuntu, and then you go to etc folder. Yes. On your etc folder, you go to WSL file, you open it. WSL conf. So here it is. Then you, as you can see, this automate option is equal to metadata. So you insert that into your WSL file. Then you go back. Then after doing that, you go back your home directory. Now navigate to the folder where you would like to work with. So to navigate to our folder that we would like to work with is on our desktop. So that will be cdmnet. That's the folder you can see. Then cd, we are going to the C, the computer disk. ls, we are going to the user. That's where our folder is. Then ls, we are going to the Lenovo. That's my system. That's the name of my system. So your home could be HP, depending on the brand that you're using. So then ls, then we'll go to desktop, cd desktop. So there are lots of stuff on my desktop. There's a folder on my desktop which is coding. That's where we are going. So now, as you can see, we have arrived at our desired folder. So here's the coding. Here's the folder where we are going to. So there's the folder. As you can see, using the Ubuntu, it has displayed everything, all the folder that are all the files that are inside the folder. So what we are going to do is, let's check the access mode of this. So as you can see, we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wherever is 7 files in this folder, and as you can see very well, you see something like dash rws. So this is just talking. This is just allowing us to know the permission that is allowing us to know that if the folder is a directory, this folder can be written and can be executed by a user, a group, or others. So we are still going to that in depth. But before this can run, there's another command you have to run. You have to run sudo apt-get update and then sudo apt install this. So after running this, then your Ubuntu should work perfectly in modifying the uh, the the file permission of these files. So now let's go back to our page. A link about this page will be dropped at the footer of this video. From there you'll be able to see you'll be able to go back to this blog post and read everything about this video. So like I've said before, R is for read permission, W is for write permission, S is for execute permission, and dash is for no permission. So now, and there are two notations for this. We have the symbolic notation and also we have the octet notation. But before we go into that, here is the major explanation of this. So now let's go back to our Ubuntu. As you can see, define Unix is a directory. That is why there's a D in front of the RWS, while the others are not a directory. When I say directory, Unix is a folder, whereas the others are not folders. That is why there is G in front of Unix. And let's go back for confirmation of that. As you can see, Unix is a folder under our coding directory. So now let's go back to where we are to our file. Okay, so the first four rather, it's talking about the user's permission. That means the user have the permission to read, write, and execute this particular file, whereas the group has the permission to read, write, and execute this particular permission, and others do have same right. And also, if you look at the second one, that means this file is not a directory. The user and the group and the others have the permission to read, write, and execute this particular file. So now let's look at this. Let's look at something like this. In case we have something like the R X R W X S R W S. So in this, you can relate the one, you can interpret the file as the user. Now this particular file is not a directory, it's not a folder, a file, and then the user have permission to only read and execute. The group has the permission to only read and write, whereas the others does not have the permission to read, but they have the permission to write and execute. So that's the logic about this. So let's go back to our Ubuntu. Let's try and change the file permission. Let's try and manipulate the file permission. For example, let's say this to.txt. Let's say we don't want to give the user, we want to deprive the user from the right to write this particular file. So what we're going to do, that's where we use our sudo command remote. So that was u minus u e o first st. Now it's asking for my password. So now let's, as you can see, we have deprived the user the opportunity to write. So now let's deprive the group the opportunity to read. So what we're going to do is gmod, because that's group minus r is equal to Okay, so just yes. So now let's check our file. So, as you can see also, we deprive the group the opportunity to write. Now let's now another thing we are going to do now is let's deprive the others the opportunity to execute this file. So what we are going to do in this is mode minus mode est. As you can see also from the latest information is that we have deprived the others the opportunity to read. So others the opportunity to execute this particular file. So now let's try and add the what we remove back. We can say gmod in mode for process st. Let's return what we just did. Mode asking your question there. Let's finish up with what we're doing now. Let's go back. Let's ls so it's only the s puts that we not added. As you can see, we've added what we removed from last. We added the execute file that we removed from the others, as well as the right access, right permission that we removed in our initial initially as the user permission for the file to. Now let's see what's going on. Let's try it back. Change mode. Test. First st. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, added that back. It's ls minus f est. So now perfect, everything's back to normal. Okay, so everything's back to normal. So now let's go to the octal notation. So for this octal notation, this is okay, there are other things that you can also look at in this octal notation. Rather, is enabling us to know that instead of using u minus w, u minus r, u minus x, you can represent them in figures. So when the file sees the figures, you understood what you really want to be executed. So it depends on you, and depends on what you really love to do the most. So also you can see other examples that is on this side. which is C mode. So you can decide to add all the permissions to a file at once, and you can decide to remove 2 permissions at once. So also you can decide to give all users the permissions, which is here, and you can decide to remove the permission from all users. So now let's try this third one and let's see if it works. So let's mode a minus let's USTO EST SRLS E.txt. So as you can see, we remove the permission to write and execute from both the user, the group, and the others. So now let's add the permission back. Oh. So as you can see, we've added back all the permission. So now let's briefly go to the opt-out rule. Now this particular blog post, which is very rich, we also now you can see here that the read carry a figure of 4, the write permissions to the execute permission 2. So now let's say you want to give the owner the permission to read, write, and execute. It will be 7. That's 1. If you want to give the user the 20 to read and execute permission, the value will be 5. This one here, that means they will be deprived of these 2. And if you want to give the others the permission to read only, that will be 4. So now let's try this out. That will be 754. So now let's try this out. That will be change mode rather 754 to.txt. As you can see here, we gave the user the opportunity to read, write, and execute. That's why it's 5. The group, we gave them only the opportunity to read and execute, but we deprived them of the opportunity to write. That's why it's 5. And also for the others, give them the opportunity to read, but we deprive them of the opportunity to write and execute. That's why it is like this. So now let's change it back. Make sure we give them the whole right to read, write, execute. So let's do that now. Dash mode 777 do.txt ls do. As you can see, now both the user, the group, and the others have the opportunity, the access to read, write, and execute permissions on this particular file co.txt. So is there any other thing that we could explain? So that's that about this. Thanks for watching this video. Please do subscribe to this channel and try as much as possible to watch others tutorial so that you will be updated. We started from somewhere. I want you to keep this going so that you will not get stranded. And also try as much as possible to share us and leave your comments below in case you find one or two things difficult to understand, so that we can probably suggest on what to do. Thanks for watching. See you next time.